So first off, I want to just get your take on tariffs. Obviously, you guys have a big amount of things that you export into the U.S., pharmaceuticals being one of the top things. Nearly half of your exports are pharmaceuticals, about 45%. How concerning is it, these U.S. tariffs? Do you believe that the EU or maybe pharmaceuticals or some parts of the things that you export may get carve-outs?
Yeah, so I think if we look at the Irish economy first, and then I'll speak to Europe as well. If we look at the Irish economy, we have a very strong economy. The fundamentals are very robust in our economy, and it's been driven by a pro-enterprise policy over the last number of decades. And we've seen the benefits of a proven, stable location that supports international markets. And maybe just for viewers to put into context, of the FDI in Ireland, 85% of everything we export from Ireland actually goes outside of North America. So it's supporting international markets. I think that's a key component, is that Ireland is the gateway for FDI into Europe and beyond as well. And if we look at the broader piece in Europe, then the US-European trade is actually the largest trading bloc in the globe, and it continues to be very proactive. I think the overall tariffs across Europe is just at a mere 1%. So it shows a balance and maturity within that trade relationship between the US and Europe as well. And obviously we want to continue to see that to grow.
Well, obviously, the US and Ireland, you have good trade relations, a very positive relationship. But some data came out just a short time ago looking at the disparity when it comes to imports and exports. You have a surplus compared to the U.S. of about 50 billion euros. That's something that the administration's really talked about, these trade surpluses. How concerning of this? And again, I want to come back. I'm sure that your leader's going to talk about carve-outs, exemptions for different products, and the fact that Ireland's also one of the biggest investors in the U.S.
Yeah, and I think you're correct. So I think it's a two-way element. So you're correct, there is a trade surplus in goods, but if you include services and you look in the balance, actually that surplus goes in the other direction from a U.S. perspective to Ireland. But you must look at it in the whole, I think, because what we would believe is that Ireland, plays its part in terms of supporting U.S. companies to expand outside of North America and into Europe. And as you rightly say, Ireland is now the 6th largest investor in the U.S. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship in both directions, and we're seeing that both in terms of trade, in terms of the, I suppose, supporting jobs in both economies. So at this juncture, there are well over 150,000 people employed by Irish companies in the US.
Well, I want to make it clear to the audience, when we're talking about foreign direct investment, that's what you're talking about. Ireland being the 6th biggest, that's a foreign country investing in the US.
Investing in the US, correct.
Right, there we go. One last question for you. Overall, when we're just looking at the state of affairs when it comes to the Trump administration, how is it changing perhaps some of the businesses that decide to be domiciled in Ireland, or some of them getting concerned, maybe looking to move operations or move a part of their operations? How is that dynamic of this tariffs and the uncertainty around them? It seems they shift and change quite a bit. How is that impacting the companies that choose to be in Ireland?
Yeah, so I think the word you've used there is uncertainty. I think there is a level of uncertainty. In my experience, what investors look for, no matter where you're looking across the globe, is policy certainty and stability. And I think at the moment we have probably a lot of movement in that area. I don't believe we're going to see an exodus from Ireland. I think Ireland is a proven location with good talent that supports international business, but there certainly is a level of uncertainty given the continued change from a policy perspective.
Well, one thing I know, I think on the U.S. side and on the Ireland side, there's one consensus. Everybody wants to carve out for Guinness. Nobody wants to see tariffs on Guinness.
Yeah, well, we certainly don't want to see that. We certainly don't want to see tariffs on anything, but certainly we'll take Guinness as well.
From what I'm hearing, Guinness is one of the top concerns, at least here in the U.S. I don't know what it is in Ireland.
Well, it's always good to have a product so well known across the globe, which has its innovation and its roots in Ireland.